Hi, everyone. I am Camille Miller of the Natural Life Business Partnership, and we are on NLBP. We are on NLBP-TV, doing a member spotlight with Donna Becker. Thank you, Donna, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Donna is a holistic practitioner in part of our membership. She is also, I should mention, one of our leaders out in Morris County, New Jersey, and she runs a coffee for us in Denville every single month. But one of the reasons I had her here is because I was really interested in talking about her journey, because I saw she started her membership with NLBP probably like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. When did you start this whole journey?
Probably on my 2-year mark.
Yeah. So I saw you progress and learn as you went. And I just found it so fascinating that I thought it would be great to do a member spotlight on you and kind of talk about that journey a little bit. The most interesting part, and I should mention that Donna is a holistic practitioner that uses the principles of bioenergetics and Chinese medicine in her practice, as well as nutrition and wellness. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But the most interesting piece to me is she started as a biochemist and has completely come over to the energy medicine field. And I find her to really be good at what she does. So that's what I wanted to start with. So Donna, let's first talk about you and your journey, your background, how you came from biochemist to be a part of this NES, what's called the NES Health Bioenergetic Wellness System. Do you want to tell us a little bit about
Sure.
how you got from here? Go.
I graduated with a bachelor's degree in biochemistry, and I did work for a while in the field. Then I ended up starting my family, and I think this happens for a lot of parents, is like you're not expecting that your children will have some developmental issues, and I made that a full-time focus. So I started doing a lot of research about understanding what the root causes were and what was out there that people were doing, and different practitioners that were more looking at root cause, and did a lot of work with dietary and different therapies. And then slowly, once you start learning something and you just grow from there, I had an opportunity to study nutrition and wellness. And that was originally what my focus was going to be, but that's still a big important part of working with my clients. But then I got involved in learning about bioenergetics, which is the understanding how energy works in the body and how it affects our biology and our cells. And I've been using that more alongside the nutrition and wellness. But what I love about that is that there's a lot of people out there that don't know the importance of that are doing all that they can find, but they're not getting the same progress or results that they could have, because the energy field is so important for pulling all of the other things together and getting all the body systems and organ systems working in synchronized.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about what NES Health is, the short answer.
Okay, so NES Health is really the name of the company.
Okay.
That has created the NES Health Bioenergetics Wellness System.
Okay.
And I just want to put it out there because I think it's important if anyone's watching this and they're interested in this. Some of what I'm going to be talking about is based on a software version I have, which is really called the Provision. So you might go to another practitioner who will have the Bioenergetic version. So I have an earlier version, which I don't know how much detail, like where that's going to be.
Is there much difference in the versions, or not really?
It's not for the practitioner. I mean, not for the client, probably.
Okay.
But there may be some differences I may talk about, and I just wanted that out there.
Okay. So when you're finding imbalances in the body, I actually went through a scan. Maybe you should just talk about the scans first and then how it works.
Can I explain the body field?
You can.
Okay, the energy field of your body surrounds and permeates your body and interacts with every cell in your body. And it tells every cell what it needs to be doing at any given moment, and also what's going on everywhere else in the body, so that every cell is working together as part of a community for your benefit, for the benefit of the whole body. So what happens to us, because we live our lives and things happen, we're exposed to toxins, injuries, emotional trauma, stress, infections, and then the cells are affected, but also they're cut off from communicating properly with the energy field. So I have a software program and a scanning device, and I can scan a person. They're fully dressed. It's just anywhere on the skin, and I use the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes seconds, and it collects information about the energy field of their body, and it compares that information to an ideal energy field that is appropriate for good health and all of the cells interacting the way they're supposed to. And then so we look at what is the biggest priority distortions or blockages in that person's energy field at that moment, and we put a protocol together to address it.
Okay, and can that change over time? Like once
Oh
you
yes,
fix one, can they come back in the next year and have something else that went out of whack?
it can change daily, but if there's something that's underlying an actual issue that you have, it's going to, you know, there's certain things that will still show up as a priority, because it really, all of this is based on Chinese medicine.
Okay.
It was developed by a man that ran an acupuncture school in Australia. His name is Peter Fraser, and he's working alongside Harry Massey. But Peter was not a scientist, but did all of the 30 years of research in his home, looking at physics and how it affects the cells of the body and
Excellent.
different tissues. But in Chinese medicine, it's like I don't need to show that little chart I have here. But it really is an interplay of the energy within the different organ systems, and what you eat, what you breathe, emotional stuff that went on that day, something you saw on TV that may have been upsetting to you, stressing about what you need to accomplish. That all of these things will affect the interplay of the energies within these different meridian pathways, which are pathways where energy flows in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll affect your organs. And changes could change often, but when there's a condition, something that's underlying a health issue, there will be definitely different aspects of the energy field that are going to come up as priorities more often than not.
Okay. And this is done with a scanner.
This is actually the device I use attached to my computer.
Okay. And I have gone through one of these scans, so I can talk personally about it, because Donna did a little demo on me. And I went through the nutraceuticals, you call them? Is that right?
Actually, infoceuticals. And this is an example of one that I'm holding up. It's basically a small bottle with a little eyedropper, and then you dilute these drops into a certain, it's called structured, it's made in structured water, and then you dilute it into water.
Oh, okay, got it.
You drink it. And for each scan, I would design a protocol that would involve there's many functions on this device I'm holding in my hand that we run off body. It can be on body or off body, but I use off body. And rejuvenate certain points on the body or certain meridians. And then certain ones of these infoceuticals are designed to do different things in the body to get the cells that aren't working right back online, working with the community of other cells, get organs working the way they're supposed to, tissues working the way they're supposed to.
Right.
Some detoxing happens, because when cells get energy and the right information, they start to do what they need to do to function better, and that will involve some detoxing.
Okay.
Comfortably.
So with your infoceuticals, what are they created with? Are they plant-based products, or is it, I know
Oh, that's a
that
great
structured
question.
water, excuse me?
I'm gonna try to keep it simple
Okay.
for time constraints, of course. But the work that Peter Fraser did when he first did his experiments, he did matching experiments. He called them matching experiments. What he did is he actually started with he looked at plants. He was thinking in terms of how homeopathy works, where like cures like, or that maybe we don't need to go into that. Looking at dilute energetic signatures of plants and how that's similar energetically to cells. And he did some tests where he looked at saliva samples, starting with his own, because he had his own chronic fatigue health issues.
Mm-hmm.
And he found that certain cells or certain body fluids were matched energetically, matching in that they spoke the same language energetically and they had the same frequencies
Okay.
as certain dilute plant material. So he developed these infusical remedies, if you would, by actually taking the energetic signature that matched to the certain cells or the certain meridian in the body or organ system, so that those drops carry information about how those cells are supposed to be functioning
Okay.
to correct the distortion of how they incorrectly believed or they kind of lost their way.
Okay.
Is that?
So it just runs on the basic principles of homeopathic medicine or flower essences or energy within the plants that are now put into the water?
It's a little different because he didn't use the plants in the end, and homeopathy is based on opposites, whereas
Yeah.
what they did is they took the exact correct
Opposite. Yeah.
energetic information
Okay.
and they put the energetic information into what's called structured water. So that's in this little bottle that I'm holding is a certain type of water that helps to maintain the stability of that energy.
Okay.
And there's some salts in there as well, which probably are related to the structured water.
Right.
But so
Right.
it really, in terms of ingredients, it's just energy and salts.
Excellent. So also, when a client comes to you for help, I know that you have other abilities as well. So you're working with this scan, and then how else do you help them with other parts of their life? Like if they come to you with a stressful situation, or do you get into that issue, or do you
Well,
just work on the health
absolutely.
itself?
In actuality, before I didn't mean to cut you off there, but in actuality, before every scan, we have a very useful, beneficial conversation about what's going on in every aspect of their life,
Okay.
Based on what they want to share, based on what is important at that moment. So it's not a very lengthy conversation, but it does help us to focus on what they're looking for to change and where they're stuck. So when you look at Chinese medicine, a Chinese medicine approach to health and understanding the energy in the body
Mm-hmm.
and what's called the 5 elements of Chinese medicine is really related to, and I'll hold this up. I know some people will be seeing it, but this is really looking at our different organ systems and meridians. They each fall into a different element. And then these elements and these organ systems, meridians, all have a relationship with each other.
Right.
So what I do is I can, some of the emotional stuff that's going on in their life will affect some of those different organs and organ systems, but also where we're stuck in our life. And a lot of things that we think of as personality and our tendencies could very well change. So really that conversation sets it helps with what the scan is going to pick up. But another skill or service that I offer is I've trained myself through a course I took. I didn't train myself actually. I took a course at it's actually called the Energy Workers Academy. And I was able to learn how to, using the energy field from my heart, which is the greatest energy field created in my body, I can connect with another person's energy field. And I can feel where in those 5 elements a person is not in balance. So everything of Chinese medicine is about being in balance. More than what's wrong and going after it, it's really the relationship and the balance between them and how the energy from one influences another. But I can feel in my hands, I can actually focus my consciousness into my heart. I can sometimes feel the emotions of that person, and I can extract some of the emotion. I can look at some past trauma and deal with some of the emotions related to that. But I can calm and create a more balanced energy flow between those 5 elements.
So on a personal level, because I watched you go through this, when you started taking those energy workers classes, were you really surprised that you had the ability you did?
No, I wasn't surprised because it's funny because a lot of people talk about being a gift. I don't ever thought that, and for some, maybe that's true, of course, and not to take that away from them. But for me, I learned it, and it was broken down into a really easy to learn way.
Mm-hmm.
But it was thrilling. I think it's the best way to say it, that you could help people and you can connect with someone on that level. It's not like an emotional connection, but
Right.
it's a very strong connection. So, you're not involved in their lives. You would never do it without permission. That just seems intrusive. And I don't do it for every client, but it's a really big part. So if you think of it as, this is an important thing to share, that is not understood in Western medicine. Everything that happens in the body physically that you don't want happening, things that have gone wrong, that are affecting your health, started as an energetic version.
Right.
And what's interesting is you study chemistry in school, it has everything to do with what each atom is made up of, which is all about physics, and that's that energy. So it's funny that it's not more merged at this point. But when I do this balancing and I create that balance, that's a Chinese medicine approach to health. Because our dysfunction that happens in like the liver or the heart or the stomach or the spleen, according to Chinese medicine, is there's an energetic disturbance way before that. So similarly, when you're trying to address and support that condition and put that back into balance and bring better health to that person, you need to create that energetic balance first, and the cells will function better.
Right. So it's kind of what we all believe in quantum physics and the Chinese medicine piece of just being how your thoughts create disease in the body.
Absolutely. Your thoughts, your emotions, your restricted belief patterns, the way you self-sabotage yourself in life, and just the idea that letting go of emotions and thoughts that are negative is really one of the best and first things that you should be doing for your health.
So tell me, who is your ideal client?
That's interesting because everyone has an energy field and everyone has cells. So I know that I know that as a business person, it's probably good for me to specialize, but really what I do say is the open-minded person that has a health issue or wants to use this preventatively.
Okay.
Or the person that may not have thought of themselves as open-minded, have never tried anything holistic and doesn't understand anything about energy, but they're desperate and they've exhausted all of what traditional Western medicine has to offer.
Excellent. And is there anything else you want people to know about your business or your healing abilities that I didn't mention? or that we didn't get to talk about?
Well, I guess two things. I think when I talk about nutrition and wellness, looking at holistically is about addressing the whole body and addressing the mind and body, emotional aspects. But that people define health in interesting and different ways than how I might. And
Okay.
it's really a continuum. And so when you go to a Western doctor, they're happy if you don't have any symptoms. And they'll use medication so you do not have any symptoms.
Right.
But that doesn't, in my mind, define wellness, because I want to be so far. There's actually a graphic called the illness wellness continuum, which says it all.
Okay.
That's worth looking up. But I want to be so far to the right that if something happens in my life that I don't anticipate, I'm resilient enough to get over it before slipping in the wrong direction.
Okay.
So I want to say that, but I also want to say that many people who do NES Health also work with animals. And I have plans to start doing that.
Nice.
Because what's funny thing about animals versus people is they're almost like small children. They don't have all that emotional history, past trauma, and beliefs that get in their way of benefiting from the work.
Mm. Yeah, I see more and more holistic animal care happening everywhere.
So
Terrific.
I'm hoping NLBP, Natural Life Business Partnership, will help me with some ideas to how to get that started. But I'd be excited to do that too.
Yeah, we actually had an animal healers mastermind group starting. So we can talk about that after this.
But it's a really, really exciting thing to be able to change people's lives. And sometimes it's in tiny ways where all of a sudden people now, and this is the area that I don't think people associate with wellness, but when you're not getting things done that you know you need to do, and I don't mean your to-do list, I mean taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not doing your exercise, you're not exercising, you're not taking time to meal plan, you're not being intentional about your life choices, but you know you should be,
Mm-hmm.
and you're upset with yourself for not. If you start working on the energy field, some things shift in you and you are ready and you're feeling positive and you have energy to put toward your health. And you start looking at your environment, you start decluttering, you start thinking about who's in your life that isn't healthy for you, and you just make amazingly healthier choices. So there's some shifts that most people don't think is related to health.
Right, right. Excellent. So if people wanted to get in touch with you after this interview, how would they do that?
I think that because I'm reworking my website,
Okay.
I can give you the new one, and I think the old one is going to be listed with how they access
Show
the
notes.
correct?
Yeah, we can do both on the show notes, and then
Okay. Oh, that would be good. All right. So then my
them.
email address can be on the show notes, and my phone number too, right?
Yeah. So why don't you?
My phone number is 973-296-7737. And my email address is also changing. But
Okay.
right now it is Donna Becker 01@gmail.com. And that's Becker as in ball, B as in ball.
Okay. And do you know what your new email address is going to be, or?
The new one is going to be Donna@DonnaBeckerBetterHealth.com.
Okay. Excellent. And you are located in Morris County, New Jersey, if I'm
I
correct?
am.
Okay.
I am currently have offices in Randolph and Rockaway Township.
Excellent. Good. Well, thank you very much for joining us today on our member spotlight. And hopefully we'll be seeing you around really soon. I think we have some things coming up. So I'm going to, oops, wait, my record's over here. Sorry. I'm just going to end the meeting, and thank you for being a part of our spotlight today on NLBP-TV.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.